Hello guys, how's it going? Darren McGarvey here, getting a wee bit of pushback because of a thread that I did this morning talking about recent media interest in Scots and, stories about persecution of Scots language or people who promote it. And so I did a thread outlining my thoughts based on 20 years of experience of performing as a Scots rapper. And I think that this has been interpreted by some as criticism of people who promote Scots, and me saying that those people are middle class. The first thing I want to say is anyone who promotes language, who is interested in language, I support them 100%, right? 100%. And I condemn anyone who receives abuse on social media or anywhere else for either speaking the way they speak or for promoting a way of speaking that was perhaps more prevalent in a previous time in Scottish history. I think what I maybe should have been clearer on was that the recent media interest in this is a reflection of middle class consumers' interest in a very specific type of Scots, which is primarily about the sound, right? It's about how it sounds. If you go to a Burns night, for example, you see that people are there to see a specific type of Scots, which is historical. It's like a museum exhibit which is performed. And my point is that if you are in the business of promoting the Scots language, or you're a performer, or you incorporate any of that into your work whatsoever, there are people who will purchase your product, there are people who will attend your event, who will applaud you, and then go home and tell their kids to speak properly. And this is ultimately the point. The point is the sort of Scots that people are interested in terms of the literary scene often, not always, is the sort of Scots which is either an analysis of a Scotland from a couple of hundred years ago, or a kind of vacuous mimicry of that sound which contains no analysis. If you go to a Burns night and you perform the way I'm talking right now, with that sound, and encoded in that language is an analysis of Scotland, where you talk about aspects of Scotland which are true today, then you'll see people shuffling their papers. You'll see people kind of confused. This isn't the Scots that we were here for. This is not what we signed up for. And you can take it from me, someone with considerable experience of performing in many different cultural, musical, literary, spoken word poetry scenes, that just sounding the way I sound and talking about the socioeconomic conditions where this kind of language emerges creates all sorts of awkwardness. It creates all sorts of judgment. And that is something that I have experienced. So that's the point that I was trying to make. Like I say, I 100% support anybody that's interested in language. I follow a number of people online who deal with this stuff very eloquently, and I'm not accusing those people of being middle class or not having a deeper understanding of Scotland. I'm talking specifically about a culture which selects for the iconography of working class experiences, murals depicting shipyards, imagery depicting the demolition of pits and chippies with interestingly appropriated takes on how people like me talk, but which often, through ignorance, actually they erase the real history, the real cultural history of our areas, the real cultural history, not just the deindustrialisation or cultural marginalisation, but also the fact that that the people who are being told to speak properly, they speak like the celebrated poets. They speak like the celebrated figures. They talk in a modern form of that language. And they are not celebrated as speakers of a rich and prestigious speech style. They are told they can't talk right. That's my point. So I apologise if I wasn't clear enough, or if I said anything that led to me conveying something other than that. I see, I've always got there's always a few roasters out there who are very keen to see me being ratioed in some way. So I just wanted to clarify that and apologise to anyone who thought that I was targeting them specifically. I thought the thread was pretty clear. My beef is with culture. My beef is with media. And as someone who has fought for a long time to be able to find a place within all of that for the way people like me talk, then I'm not totally ignorant about the issue. And as someone who has written hundreds of songs in Scots and experienced the varying reactions to them, including the assumption that I'm just aggressive and just vulgar, because that is what people interpret when they hear a certain speech style. I can say from experience, Anyway, keep doing your thing. Take it easy.